Okay, so now we're going to look at setting up the microphone to record some actual audio. So this is a standard dynamic microphone. This is an XLR cable. I'm just going to connect this here. This is pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's connected. You'll notice I've wound the cable round the microphone stand. This is a health and safety thing. Because these cables are quite long, there's always potential for people to trip over them. So it's always a good idea to actually wind it around and then take the thread and feed it down, ideally around where you're sitting, so that you're not going to actually pull it yourself. So that's set up. Here we have the audio interface. This is an Edirol Firewire interface. Firewire is slightly faster than a USB, so we use these interfaces. And here's the microphone cable, and I'm just going to plug this in. Now, these interfaces don't actually have an on-off switch, so in order to make a connection you do need to have them switched off. So I've totally unplugged this, and I'm now just going to make sure that all the faders are at 0, just so that when I switch it back on, doesn't suddenly come up and any speakers get a nasty click. So I'm going to connect this here. It's in the input, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to make the connections, actually plug that in. Okay, so bearing in mind that this doesn't have an on-off switch, I'm going to have to plug in the power. This is the power adapter. And here I think you can see this is the input and this is the Firewire connection. So first I connect the power. And now I'm going to connect the Firewire cable. Okay, so now if I turn this round, you'll see that the blue lights come on, so the interface is now active and ready to record. Okay, so at this point, now we're connected up, I'm going to plug in some headphones. You might want to also connect speakers. I'm working without speakers here, so I'm just going to put the phones in. And this is a standard jack plug. This will go in here. You'll see at this point I've still not actually faded up any of the main faders. This is so that when I start recording, I start from 0 and then I can gradually bring it up so there's not a sudden rush of sound. Okay, now I'm ready to record. And in order to bring up the level, I would slowly turn this up, and then I need to actually bring in some input of sound into the microphone. Okay, so now we're ready to actually record some sound. I've got the guitar here. I'm just going to position the microphone. I just need this really at a distance that's comfortable for me to play, so that when I strum or I pluck, I'm not going to hit the microphone, and so that I'm getting a reasonable signal. So I'm just going to turn this so it's pointing at the sound hole of the guitar, and that's about 3 or 4 inches from the main sound hole. So now I'm just going to play a chord. So if we look at the input, we'll see that we're getting sound. Maybe we need to adjust that. So then I'm going to go back to the audio interface. Here, the sensitivity control, and that needs to go up a bit. So I'm going to turn that up. And then I'm going to play another. And now you'll see that we're getting a stronger input. So I think that's going to be good enough to record, so we're going to go with that. Okay.